Hello and welcome to EUTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Evangel University and around the region. I'm Kyer Warner.
We'll also look at college football across the nation and check out the latest happenings in professional sports. I'm Sarah Cummings, and this is Sports Update on EUTV. Great weekend overall for Evangel Athletics.
Yeah, lots of wins came out of lots of the sports teams here.
Yeah, some great scores, a lot of tightly contested matchups. You'll definitely want to stick around and hear about those. Yeah. And we had the Chiefs game.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get into that, but they'll probably know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, so. A lot of big names, a lot of great plays, a great game.
Some unknown names, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to hear about all of that. Evangel Volleyball played back-to-back home games Friday and Saturday. The first matchup was against the Mount Mercy Mustangs. Going into the game, the Mustangs were the conference wins leader in the Heart of America North Division. The first set went beyond the usual 25-point threshold with a 29-27 Evangel win. The next two sets were not quite as tightly contested, with Evangel winning 25-16 and 25-19. Following their 3-0 sweep of Mount Mercy, Evangel faced Clark the next day. Staying hot, the Valor took the first set 28-26, the second 25-16, and the third 25-21. The back-to-back sweeps advanced the Valor to a 9-7 record in conference play. Up next, Evangel faces CMU at home on Thursday.
A strong defensive effort helped propel the Valor football team to its first win over Baker since 2017. After jumping to a quick 14-0 start for the Valor, both teams settled in for a scoreless second quarter and nearly a scoreless third quarter, but a 33-yard field goal gave Evangel a 17-0 lead before the fourth. Baker then got themselves on the scoreboard after an interception, which allowed the Wildcats within 15 yards of the end zone, which after 2 plays, they scored for 6. Evangel's defense held strong on Baker's last 2 drives with 2 big fourth down stops, which allowed Evangel to get away with the win, 17-12. The Valor men's soccer took on Mount Mercy Saturday afternoon, and a tough Mount Mercy defense stopped the Valor all game, leading to a 4-0 victory in favor of Mount Mercy. The Valor offense struggled to possess the ball, and Mustangs found themselves up 1-0 after Evangel could not clear the ball. Igor Kervek produced Evangel's first shot attempt after the 24-minute mark, but was stopped by the goalkeeper, and soon after Mount Mercy extended their lead 3-0 before the half. After halftime, the Mustangs scored again to make it 4-0, and from there, iced the Valor offense to end the game and take home the win.
Men's and women's cross country competed in the SBU Bearcat Open on Friday. The men's team finished 6th overall, and the women placed 8th overall as a team. The highest individual finish out of the 2 teams was Skylar Adams of the women's team with a 20th place finish and a time of 20 minutes and 9 seconds. On November 5th, Evangel will travel to Iowa to compete in the Heart of America Cross Country Conference Championship. On Saturday, women's soccer traveled to Des Moines, Iowa to face Mount Mercy. Mount Mercy scored within the first 40 seconds, taking the early 1-0 lead. Taylor Overstreet would answer by scoring her first goal of the season, making it a 1-1 game. A goal by Deja Boykin and another from Overstreet gave Evangel this 3-1 win over the Mustangs. Anna Crane assisted on all 3 of the goals, and Chloe Hancock recorded 3 saves in the match. Evangel's final home game of the season will be Friday at home against Graceland. That is amazing to see the women's soccer, a 3-1 win.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, we were just talking about their streak of not being able to get on the board, and now they come out with a win. So that is awesome.
Been really impressive, really impressive.
And a great job by the football team as well. Strong defensive effort.
Yeah, and it takes a lot. Baker's been a really good team for years, and, it's a big win, and I know the coach is very happy over that. So.
Yeah, that was awesome to see. Overall, just a great job. Volleyball also had 2 back-to-back sweeps going 6-0 on the weekend. That's amazing.
Not a lot of teams are doing that, but, happy to say Evangel is the team that's doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Coming up next, I'll be here with Evangel football coach Chuck Heppola to talk about their big win this weekend.
And later, we'll look at some of the most significant college games from the weekend and the Chiefs rematch with the 49ers. We'll be right back.
For those dealing with the struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for advice and support.
Welcome back. I'm here with Evangel football coach Chuck Heppola. Thank you, Coach, for being with us here today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So, Coach, it was a great game against Baker last week. So tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a team, that was the only team in the conference we had not beat. And so we were finally able to get that victory, and it was really a great moment for the players, great moment for the coaches. Because, I mean, if you think about it, in 2017, 18, and 19, we played the last week of the season with the ability to win the conference championship against them, and we were able to win a conference championship in 2017. We didn't play them in 20 because of the pandemic, and then last year we had a really, really tight game with them where we were on the losing end there. But it was great to be able to get a victory. Our kids really enjoyed that, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So the defense really held its ground in that game. So was there an emphasis on defense during the practice week? Or?
Well, I mean, we're always going to emphasize that. I mean, we're going to emphasize, fundamentally, defensively, special teams, and offensively. And our defense just stepped up and did a great job of getting a lot of 3 and outs. And Coach DeSoto and the staff do an outstanding job putting the guys in the right position to make the plays.
Yeah, yes, sir. And then as far as some of the guys, who were the ones that really stood out in that game?
Oh, goodness. I mean, honestly, there was so many, things that happened during that game. From special teams played extremely well, especially Ryan Connor punting the ball and Joan Edwards kicking the ball. They did return a punt on us, but there was, if you look back on that film, there was just some things right there that were real questionable on that particular return. But they did a great job. The overall defense did a super job. I mean, the defensive front did a good job of putting pressure on them. And I think at halftime, Baker is primarily a running team, and I think they only had 23 yards rushing in the first half. And so that was an outstanding job. And then we were able to get on the board quickly against them and take a 14-0 lead, and that's what really catapulted us and enabled us to win the football game.
Yeah. So right now in conference, where does Evangel stand?
Yeah, we're 2-0 right now, and so we play Mid-Am this week, and they're also 2-0, and so we're sitting on the top in the South Division. But there's other teams, like Mid-Am is 2-0, we're 2-0, and Benedictine is 2-0. So you've got 3 teams right there that are sitting at the top, and so now it's just a matter of just getting out and playing and seeing what happens these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then you brought up that Mid-Am game, so that's homecoming for you guys. So tell me, what's your thoughts going into that?
Yeah, bittersweet because it's the last regular season home game. Also, it's senior day.
Yeah. Also,
it's homecoming. So there's a lot going on. At halftime, they're going to honor some of our NAIA scholar athletes, from various athletic programs, but in particular football as well. So there's a lot going on, but it's just it's going to be a great. There'll be a great crowd just simply because all the things that's going on, and so it'll be fun for our kids to get out there and play.
Yeah. And then aside from just winning games and being around your guys, like, what do you gain from being a part of Evangel Athletics?
Just being, well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's all about people. We talk a lot. At the very start of the season, I talked about people first, mission second. And so it's all about being around people and building relationships. That's what makes sport great. It's no matter where you live in the world, in the country, people for some reason gravitate to sports, and there's something about it that builds relationships. People are always intrigued when, I go out in the community and they're like, what do you do for a living? And I tell them, and then everybody's got a little story to tell. So what it does is it connects people. And so being around our players and relationships with our coaches, and I love getting feedback and hearing from our former players that have graduated from here and go on and do great things. And that's what we're striving for all these young men to do is to go out and be the best employee that business ever has, the best husband that wife is asking for, and the best father that the children that they'll have in the future are hoping for.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you, Coach, for being with us today, Coach, and best of luck in your upcoming games. Coming up, we'll look at some of the college games and NFL action from the weekend. Stay tuned.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
Number 5, Clemson hosted number 14, Syracuse on Saturday. The game was 21-10 at the half, favoring Syracuse. Both teams were scoreless in the third quarter, but Clemson would fight back in the fourth. Clemson put up 17 points in the fourth quarter to take this game 27-21. What looked like a Syracuse upset was spoiled when the Orange were held scoreless in the second half. Clemson's running back had a monster game with 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 fumble.
Number 11, Oklahoma State outlasted number 20, Texas, 41-34 as Cowboys quarterback Spencer Sanders threw 57 passes for 391 yards and 2 touchdowns to bring Oklahoma State back into the game after being down by 2 scores. Longhorns quarterback struggled in his first road start with completing just 19 of 49 passes for 319 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also threw 3 interceptions, and one of them was a game clincher in the final minute. In the latest Chiefs game, Patrick Mahomes does it again with throwing for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns to rally Kansas City back from another double-digit deficit in the Chiefs' win over the 49ers. Chiefs receiver Mecole Hardman scored 2 touchdown runs and an 8-yard catch to help get the Chiefs back on top midway through the game. Juju Smith-Schuster finished it off with a 45-yard catch and run to the end zone, which ended the game 44-23. Another big win for the Chiefs last weekend.
Game 5 in the NLCS was on Sunday, with the Phillies going into it with a 3-1 lead over the Padres. The Padres faced a must-win game in this best-of-4 series. Yu Darvish started for the Padres and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. Both starters went 6 innings with the game 2-1 Phillies at the end of the 6th. San Diego would score 2 in the 7th, giving them a 1-run lead. In the bottom of the 8th, Phillies star Bryce Harper hit a go-ahead 2-run blast. The Phillies won the series in 5 games and are on their way to face the Houston Astros in the World Series. The World Series matchup's finally set.
Yeah.
We're off to the big series. We're going to have the Houston Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies, so that's going to be a great matchup. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. And then, so Chiefs, obviously, I don't know if they're just going to be a winning team forever because they can come back from any type of deficit in games.
With an offense like that.
Yeah.
That was impressive. And with Christian McCaffrey making his first start with the 49ers after getting traded, I know a lot of Chiefs fans were nervous about that. You've got one of the best running backs in the league going up against you, but...
Yeah, and they slowed him doim really quick. He was off to a really good start, but just Kansas City, what are you going to do?
Chiefs take over.
Yeah.
So it feels like a story that we keep reporting on over and over again. But once again, you've got a Chiefs win there. some great football action in the college area as well as NFL. It's just great overall.
All around great football. When we come back, we'll have the EUTV Player of the Week.
We'll also have your upcoming Evangel games this week. We'll be right back.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until no secret that laughter makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but it will be safe until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
And now it's time for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
This week's EUTV Sports Player of the Week is Deja Boykin of the women's soccer team. Boykin is a 5'8" forward and a junior from Allen, Texas. Boykin leads the soccer team in goals this season. She scored her 4th goal this past weekend in the win against Mount Mercy. Congratulations to Deja Boykin. That's a great job by Deja, getting on the board, scoring for women's soccer. It was great to see that win, and she played an important role in that.
Yeah, she's been doing really good since the beginning of the season, so hope to see some more come out of her.
Absolutely, a leading scorer, so that's always great to see. Congratulations again, Deja. And now, let's go to the upcoming Games of the Week. Men's and women's soccer is at home on Friday here for homecoming weekend. The women are going to play at 3 p.m. against Graceland, and the men will follow at 5:30. And then on Monday, that's another home game on October 31st.
The Valor football team will be playing Saturday, October 29th at 1 p.m. versus Mid-America, and it's homecoming, so don't miss it.
Volleyball, again, we've got a home game here on Thursday, October 27th, 7 p.m. against Central Methodist. And then on Tuesday, November 1st, they go on the road to face Culver Stockton.
Men's and women's cross country will be running Saturday, November 5th at the Hart Conference Championships in Des Moines, Iowa.
Men's and women's tennis has the Evangel Fall Invitational October 28th and 29th. That's here in Springfield at the Cooper Tennis Complex.
And men's and women's basketball, Thursday, November 3rd, the men will play at 7 p.m. versus Harris Stowe in the Ashcroft Center. And Friday, November 4th, the women will play at 6 p.m. versus Friends in Oklahoma. Go Evangel Valor!
Valor! Those are going to be some great games this weekend. I'm excited for homecoming.
Oh yeah, me
Obviously,
too.
you can't miss those.
Yeah, I'm not missing none of them. I will be there.
A lot of excitement around campus, so you're excited to see how that new energy is going to bleed into sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. For Sports Update, I'm Sarah Cummings.
And I'm Kyer Warner. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.